okay, Matt, who was more, we'll do a teaser. Who was more menacing? What got you in the jowls? I don't know why that's where it's getting you, but sure. Zoval! The jailer or Farak?
Honestly,
I know what I have to say.
Honestly, I think Farak is a substantially better character.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I definitely enjoyed killing the jailer more.
Same. The jailer was a better final.
And I didn't even like the fight that much.
Yeah.
It was okay. And I was happy to do it. And I never did it on heroic. I was happy to kill him in normal and then all day forward and never touch the game.
Oh, yeah.
Until Dragonflight.
I forgot we didn't even do that. Okay,
yeah.
if you were to choose Anduin as a final boss, Anduin would also
Anduin,
smack Farak because he was a great fight.
Anduin was somehow the final boss. It would have been the best final boss I've had in years. Honestly. Like,
I think one of the greatest.
No, that's not true. That's not true because Argus was an incredible final boss.
And what the thing about Argus, like Argus is so clear, it's so readable in many ways, and then it's like so thematic. I think the bit that I was like disappointed in with this fight is experientially the aspects using their aspectral powers. No, they hadn't earned their aspectral powers yet.
They were helping a little bit.
Yeah, but they weren't in a way that a way where Aenar's like, yo dog, here's the death tree. Keep it alive and you will come back to life and shit.
Yeah, they were kind of there, but they didn't do anything that we felt specifically.
Yeah, they were standing. They had their like wooden versions of the little pods all the senators are in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Fucking hell, yeah. Yeah, no,
I guess that is the bit that's like a bit of a downer. And this is definitely influenced by me going back to the Tomb of Sargeras. They still cannot make shit that isn't... Like, they can make things that are technically good, but not... I believe the word is Kino. And it's a very overused word. But I feel that Legion kind of actually did deserve it.
It had...
And so there's a level of like, this goes hard. This is fucking cool.
Do you remember what it looked like to fight Kil'jaeden? You go up and kill him on his ship.
Flying through the nether.
Yeah. That's cool as hell.
And then all the Mythic Raiders off themselves because of RNG.
Yeah, like that was obviously shit, but like the idea was we have killed the last remnant of Sargeras on the planet, and then we go and put an end to Kil'jaeden once and for all. And that was really cool. The Gul'dan fight was great. The Xavius was a bit ass. It looked okay actually. That boss area is really cool. But like Gul'dan's finale was super strong as well.
So I think it's just for this fight, and we'll go to our tier list in a bit. Yeah. For this fight, it just didn't have... Frankly, it just didn't have the tuning.
So there's a few things, right? And there's a reason I titled this segment here, A Final Boss Should Be Epic. And there's a few parts of what makes something epic, right? And it boils down to it being the sum of its parts, because even if you have an epic boss arena and an epic boss room and they give an incredible villain speech and the music's 10 out of 10, and then you one-shot them, there's no tension, they don't feel like an enemy, they don't feel like a boss, right? And you might still enjoy it, but you're not going to enjoy it quite as much. And that's what I think is the part where maybe it's leaning a little bit too easy in general for heroic. And I feel like they did that with Abras as well, because we kind of walked over it.
Easier here, though.
We walked over Abras, we walked over this super, super hard. And that took an awful lot of, like, the actual vibes away. Where I like Razageth, I know, I can't remember who it was, someone in chat said earlier, it was like you only liked it because of the difficulty. Difficulty is part of liking it. And that's the part that's hard, right? That's the part that it's challenging actually.
But like experientially though, like when Razageth goes and does her big breath versus Farak doing his big breath, the Razageth big breath is like when you are already stressed. And of course, Matt, not to, we don't want to be revisionists because it would have been very Stalin-like of you, Matt, to forget about the Razageth swirlies.
Yeah, they were kind of ass. but and this is the part where I'm gonna hate. I hate saying this. Yeah, you do. Go on. You don't.
You love it. You love it.
The swirlies helped keep me in a vague flow state, as opposed to on Farak where I am full asleep. But the thing was, the actual movement and stuff like that with Farak just kind of was a little bit too easy and a little bit too, like, it just kind of sucked.
Well, I think there's a big, you know when he knocks you up?
Yeah.
Twice.
And nothing,
and you're just
nothing,
like,
nothing matters.
Done.
None.
I don't know why that needed boops and beeps, but like, why does Farak not like knock us way up, and then something happens with dragons or I don't know, or maybe we get knocked up, but then like the ground explodes and
black hand,
and we get I don't know, but like something that goes spectacle. Like
Yeah.
remember when Blizzard were like, the fight with Sylvanas Windrunner is the most epic fight we've ever crafted. What do you actually do? Walk up a chain.
You get ping pong between two things infinitely.
You walk up a chain and then you bing bong around a bunch of platforms and then J-Lore happens. In fairness though, it was worth how magnificent the Sanctum of Domination End cinematic was. Your sudden and inevitable betrayal. No.
Yeah. So, you actually have a good example there of you get knocked up and nothing happens, right? Yeah.
Can't say that's happened to me now.
Yeah, no, me neither. But you get blasted into the sky by Farak, and then he lands, and it doesn't do anything, and nothing matters. It feels like there was a mechanic missing there.
Yeah.
But even if you didn't want it to be just mechanically, if you wanted it to be interesting, what you could have at least done is maybe the ground gets destroyed, or maybe the ground gets like covered in fire when he does it, and on the way down you get a bark from one of the dragons. I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's Calicos, and he just some real pithy dialogue of like, just I won't let that happen, and just freezes the ground with ice.
No.
And then it passes, right?
No, Caligos is there to have feelings and have an emotional journey. He's not there to do anything.
Yeah.
Are you a moron? What? You don't learn the lesson of this expansion.
Apparently, and that's where because the example of ANR and the tree is so perfect for Argus. That fight would have been so boring without that. But that's the part that made it feel special. In the same way, Arthas didn't have to kill you and then have you be resurrected. He could have just been like, no, enough, or froze you. But what actually happened, what should have happened in that specific, like, Farak bit, it's, even if you want to cycle it every time he does it, and just goes, he covers the ground in fire, Caligos goes, no, and freezes it all. Maybe Virenov freezes it all. I said Caligos because, mages can use ice as well. Virenov maybe freezes it, and then he just goes, damn you, sister, or something along those lines. And then there you go. You've got something that's a little bit more characterful. And
even
everyone goes,
War
okay,
of the War of the Scaleborn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there should be stuff there with Farak. Or even, okay, War of the Scaleborn's going into like a bunch, the character dynamics there. And I'm not saying have it rely on the book, but can we have like more motivation there? Actually, tell you what, let me try something spicy. I'm going to go and get some of his quotes.
Go for it. So, like, while you're doing that, I think it's so easy to do things like that, where it feels like you're in danger and then something saves you. That's all it needs. That is literally like, that's... So I don't want to
He's not called Farak. The fight is called Farak the Blazing.
Yeah. They must have been fucking high when they called him
Me
that.
too, brother.
Yeah, like, that's the... Oh, God.
Feel the bite of Feralath!
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been cool if, I don't know, more things happened. Tinder waiting for a spark. Fall to my wrath, destruction reigns. The dream burns. A wasted effort, maggots.
Yeah, like,
World will be remade in flames. What do you believe what's going on?
I mean, they're okay, but they are just like generic villain barks.
I feel like, okay, you don't like always want that thing, like, the peak. I don't know if this is the thing that happens in a Dragoon Ball, I think, where there's like a whole episode's just a fight, but it's actually a conversation.
A whole episode of fight?
I've never watched much.
Mate, there are fights that are 4 episodes long.
Some of this are like the intermission phases. Why is more stuff not happening with the aspects? Because I know that there are lines from the aspects, while you're actually having the fight.
Yeah, they sound like.
But, I just... where is the... it just that thing. Okay, maybe it's just because I said, where is that? And then I just hear a little Gordon Ramsay scream, lamb sauce, or whatever in my head. But like, this feels like the unseasoned chicken breast version of what this fight could have been.
That's what I feel. And I feel that in terms of like two ways. And it is like that thing of just more stuff could have happened that felt cool. Why were we not in danger? Why are we not getting thrown off the edge and then caught and thrown back on? Things like that, I guess, anyway.
And also like his death.
Oh yeah, he just sort of falls over.
Where he falls over and then the camera just shows the aspects all just tripping.
Yeah. And
Like,
there's no moment of Farak dying and cursing out Veranoth the last second or anything like that.
yeah, there's no like,
He's dying.
oh, help, Dad, I can't see anything. It's my amazing rendition of Arthas.
Yeah, that's kind of the...
Okay,
kind of the
it's Arthas. You can do more with him. But I feel like there could have been more there. And here's just an example of... I can't believe it's going to happen again. Show, don't tell. So you know the way whenever you speak to one... Strange, though, when he fell, it was as if the embers of his rage were carried off. Is that right, Abyssian? Is that right? Could you have showed us that? Could this have been maybe a thing in the... Could this have been more... Could you have, like...
Yeah, he's a new Fire Lord. Like,
Yeah, and then, he Abyssian ends by saying perhaps he at last joined the elements that imbued him. So why are we not doing something there? Why is the final phase of this fight not like somehow in the Firelands where, I don't know, we fight his essence or, do something that is like metal? Where is the metal?
that's a wee bit too out of scope, I think.
No, the metal! They didn't have to go and do a Stormwind Harbor segment for Garrosh. I don't care if you reuse the Firelands. But, like, we need the metal, we need the spectacle.
Yeah, actually,
the one thing you kept on telling me about Final Fantasy XIV, obviously the Weeaboo game for furries, as everybody, especially Volpera players, know, all the fights are cool! Okay, that's a lie. They're all cool. But, many of them have such a level of spectacle that is... I mean, even doing... it was the first of the Alliance raid. And I don't know if the other wings of the Alliance raid were just all pants, but that first wing of the Endwalker Alliance raid, you're sitting there as a WoW player and you're like, what? This is all too big. I mean, like, big in terms of square footage.
Yeah.
Volume. and that's the bit where, I don't know, it's unseasoned chicken breast. But I think a pretty good fight that was undertuned quite a bit. But not great. No way great.
Yeah, I mean,
it was good.
We fought him in one platform as well. I feel like one platform fights are, and this is funny because F14's fights are
it is the circle game.
Squares or circles, like. But finding out one platform that feels like one platform is definitely a mistake. As opposed to, I was so looking forward to, like, the ideas of this before we actually saw it. I was looking forward to a Maiden being a fight where we're running up the tree, fighting different bosses at different levels, almost in a incredible callback to the Night Elf opening in the game.
So
where you go up a tree.
Speaking of openings, what is everybody? What's the what was it? What did John call it in our raid?
What?
The portal that you fly into.
I don't know what I can't remember exactly what he called it, but it wasn't something I can repeat. It was very a certain shape.
I just think, right, it's all about yonic imagery. And the story they were trying to tell and their deft use of that yonic imagery, I thought was fuck donuts indeed.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. I didn't mean that. I laughed at what Donut said. Sorry.
But yeah, you think like, oh, he's going to burn the tree. Doesn't happen. It's like, I'm going to manifest the flames from inside the heart of the tree, and then via the dimensional something of the thing in the... Whereas, like, what do you want as a player? You're like, how about a big tree on fire?
I mean, even fake it out.
Yeah.
Even have it start to burn and then have everyone go, this will not happen. And here's the part where you immediately go, why is it all so obvious in hindsight? Why is it all so obvious? What did we just get as an ally? The Ice Woman. what's the difference about now having the Ice Woman? Well, if the tree goes on fire, she can go, fucking no, and extinguish it. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, the thing is, they could have went,
yeah.
The tree's half on fire, and Veeroth goes, I will not let this happen, and freeze it.
So, hey, do you remember the Wrathgate, Matt? Do you remember the Wrathgate, the gate with all the wrath? And you know that bit at the end of the Wrathgate when all the things are very crispy and or whenever it happens? Yeah. You know when Alex Straza does the big breathe, and then the big breathe causes the life? Yes. Oh, imagine if, like, Farak burnt bits of the tree, but then because of some stuff with Azeroth through the heart of the thing and the stuff in the tree and the rifty, in the strange heart of the rift of the soul of the world of the whatever the hell they're smoking, Alex gets a little bit of her power. And imagine, right? I don't want to shock you. This would be Alex Straza doing something at max level. But, like, you know, she could, you know, like, Farak, I don't know, he burns a big limb of the tree and something terrible is going to happen, and, you know, maybe part of the fight is like Alex Straza's going to, you know, use her life breath thingy, and you've got to do something to help her or whatever. Like, the theater. I'm talking about the theater of it.
Yeah.
Like, think about a good fight scene. Good fight scenes in movies, you know, they've got their pacing, the choreography. One of the, you know, they're like little short films themselves. The kitchen fight scene in the Raid 2, like, you can so clearly see, like, the balance of power and the different, like, phases of that fight, the scrappiness from the combatants, and it's a really, really good piece of media. I'm sure you can think, I mean, whether it's martial arts cinema or Dragon Ball or whatever, you can think of, like, really good fight scenes where they've went through all of those, you know, those sort of phases. Like, as an example, that's when John Wick was at his weakest, was just shooting dudes off screen who then fell on screen, and you're like, boom, 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 and you're just sitting there being like, okay, right, none of this is impressive anymore. Versus whenever you get, like, when the John Wick franchise is at its best, when there's, like, you know, things are sort of being, well, I guess, like, there's a sort of a progression that's not just, like, treading water. Okay, yeah, that's it. Just Farak was just one big fight of treading water. It never felt like things got serious. Like, you look at, say, Mythic Phase Garrosh. Mythic Phase Garrosh.
Or even just regular Garrosh.
Or regular Garrosh.
When he just goes, no, fuck it, time for a drink. That's it, like.